Hi, this is Steve, my business partner Austin, and today we are going to talk about everybody's least favorite topic, and that's Google Business Profile suspensions. And they are very picky about certain things. At least it seems like it, and for other people, it seems like they let stuff, slide a lot. So I don't know how they work exactly, but when you get a suspension, it can cause some panic. You can get very, very nervous. I think any of us would get nervous from that. But what ultimately happens is you will have a chance to defend yourself, so to speak. You can appeal, and they will listen to you. So if you know how to handle it, and you are a Google Business Profile person, you become the hero because they don't know how to handle it, and they're going to lose all their clients. They're going to lose everything that's important to them. So this video will put you as the expert. They have what they call soft suspension, hard suspension, and I know there's some other kinds in between, but this is what we know for sure. Is that in a soft suspension, the listing still exists, people can see it, but the owners and managers are not able to manage it. And this is usually caused by some kind of a violation, but Google is kind of warning them, like they give them like a 1 or 2 week um, break, so to speak, and let them back in, and just kind of to get the point across, do not do that. What's something that might cause that? So let's say Caserta Home Services. Let's say he puts up a post, and in it, he says, call today, and puts his phone number. That will cause some people to get a soft suspension. Some people I've seen get away with it. So it doesn't happen every single time. But they don't want you to say call today with a phone number. That will generally get you a suspension. What would a hard suspension look like? Your listing is removed from Google Maps and search. It disappears from everything. This is the one that causes huge amounts of panic. And this is when somebody might call you looking for answers, and hopefully you could help them. What are some causes of suspensions? One of them is keyword stuffing. Those that have been around a while know that keyword stuffing used to work. Not too long ago, keyword stuffing was a good idea because it worked. Now, Google, is looking for things that are helpful to customers exclusively, and keyword stuffing, they look at as a big violation. So that's one of them. Putting your um, full address into your Google Business Profile is a violation if people don't come to your house to do business, or don't come to that address you put on there to do business. And if it's your house, most cases they probably don't come there, and they will suspend you for that. Listings that put a virtual office, a UPS store, any kind of PO box, those are going to get dinged. Um, Service areas showing a physical address that they shouldn't be showing. People try to trick Google in all kinds of ways. They're pretty good at catching those. Multiple listings. So a lot of times you might see, and I'm not picking on this company, they're not doing this, but let's just say Quality Electric was up here, and then they had another one down here where they had a couple of different Google Business Profiles. In this particular Dover, New Jersey, I don't see that happening anywhere. But if you look hard enough on Google Business Profile, you'll see it. Some people have multiple listings, and you're not allowed to do that. Sudden bulk changes to the profile, so your name, address, category all changed at once. Um, Google a lot of times will just suspend it instead of look into it. But that's why you want to be ready for an appeal. Always be ready for an appeal. The more stuff you do on Google Business Profile, the more likely you are to make some kind of infraction along the way. Using a phone number that forwards or isn't a local phone number is sometimes a red flag. So in other words, you say you're Torre Electric Company, Tor maybe Electric Company, and you've got a phone number that's not a local one. That sometimes comes to their suspicions. If you forward it to a local phone number, that they're suspicious of that. Um, Third party management, sometimes they're when somebody first starts, they flag that. So as you're taking over a company, you might your first video or two, or your first post you do, you might all of a sudden get a Google flag, and you're like, oh no, I just messed up for the company. But just relax. Most of the time these things are small and not a big deal. Sometimes somebody reports you for doing something wrong, and you can get dinged for that. And Google a lot of times just takes it at their word and makes you say it wasn't, you didn't do whatever they said. So there's a lot of things that can happen. But overall, sometimes a business just doesn't qualify for a Google Business Profile listing, and you'll have to just pay attention to what that might be. But for with you as an agency, you can have one, and just make sure you don't put your home address. If people don't come to your house, that's going to be something you'll probably do. You'll get suspended right away and not know why. Well, that's why. So what do you do when you get suspended? If that happens to you, it's first thing to do is relax and don't react negatively. So relax, get focused, and try to figure out what happened. So Google's probably not going to tell you either. They're not going to tell you why they suspended you. So you're going to be extra nervous about that. You're just going to know something went wrong, but you're not going to know why. So you've got to figure it out. If you put your home address, okay, there's one. Did you put in your post, call today with a phone number? That's one. So you just don't know. If you do run into a problem, you can even reach out to us, and maybe we can try to help you with it. But more times than not, you might be able to come up with something you did that wasn't quite right. Review the business name, address, categories, website URL, phone number, everything. Make sure it's all correct. Has anything changed recently? Did anything added that violates Google's guidelines? So Google constantly changes things. Make sure you're up to date. Make sure you're paying attention from this point forward. When you see Google updates, pay attention to that, because it's really, really easy to end up doing the wrong thing. Me and Austin have been doing this a long time, and occasionally we'll do something that they didn't like at the time, and we'll have to figure it out. If you do enough stuff in Google Business Profile, they will ding something you did. That I can guarantee will happen. So fix the violations first before you do anything else. So first off, figure out what's wrong. Research. And when you find something wrong, clean it up. If you have keywords in it, get rid of those. If your address is a virtual office, then you need to get a different address. Gather the documents. Google will likely ask for proof that the business is real and legitimate. So get everything put together. Before you react, make sure you're in a good spot. Get your license. Get a utility bill or bank statement. Get photos of your signs, the interior, exterior, proof of phone number, everything. Tax documents, whatever you can come up with now. You're going to need to show Google that you're a legitimate business and that you're doing things the right way. I'm going to turn it over to Austin for now.
So once you do all that, you get all your stuff in order. You want to submit the reinstatement request, which you go to the Google Business Profile help page and submit it there. Just be honest and straightforward. Explain the business. Don't like try to argue. Google's pretty bad with their customer service. You do want to follow up within. It can take a few days to several weeks. So if you haven't heard back in like a week to 10 days, 10 business days, that is, you want to follow up, and then just document everything. Some ways to prevent suspensions: definitely don't stuff keywords. Use a real address. Make changes to the profile like gradually. Just use consistent name, address, phone. Avoid using call tracking numbers. Don't have a bunch of people logging in at the same time with different IPs. And just monitor for competitor spam reports regularly. So you can use suspension monitoring and response in your packages as an agency, and you can even offer a GBP audit upfront to show suspension risks. When you're pitching, mention you know how to handle suspensions, and charge a if a client comes to you who's already suspended, you can charge a one-time reinstatement fee. Want to take it from there?
Yeah, so basically, this is a service that is in high demand. If you find somebody that's suspended, they're desperate to come out of that. And the suspensions that we listed, those are the ones that are known. Like, we also see people that are ghosted from Google Business Profile. They're not technically suspended, but Google doesn't have them up there. So, like, when you find businesses like that, they are desperate to figure out how to get out of that. And look through the things we talked about. Those are the biggest things, and those are ones that come up. The most common one you're going to see is that address being wrong. That a business puts their complete home address on there, and businesses do not come to their house. So that's going to be your first one, and your main one you're going to come up with. And if you can solve that for those people, that's worth a lot of money to them. It sounds simple. It sounds like, well, that's not a big deal. But to them, that is a big deal. Their business is back once you solve that. So that's all I got for you today. I'll see you tomorrow.